Good morning. It's Andre from A to C Dressage Training. Not live. I'm really sorry. Yet again, the internet has failed us. There is a joy of living in the forest, as you can see behind me. It is an amazing place to live, but unfortunately, it's not a winner with technology. So here I am with video, hoping that this will upload later to you, so I can get this story out to you today. So I'm talking about listening to your horse, learning from them. And I've been in horses about 40 years. I've been in this industry, and I've loved every minute of it. But I am still learning. Those 40 years have not even been enough to learn half of what I need to learn. And I was very fortunate. I've worked overseas. I've worked in Switzerland with show jumpers. I've worked in Kent with eventers. I've had my own horses to compete on dressage. So I've got an all-round experience, and I've had some brilliant coaches. Denise King, if you're out there, she started me off when I was a very small well, I probably was never small, a 17-and-a-half-year-old working pupil. Denise was my trainer then. I've had brilliant trainers through my life. I've been very lucky. Thomas Fuchs in Switzerland, one of the international show jumpers. And more recently, Heather Moffat here in Devon has helped me on classical training. So I have had some brilliant trainers and some very good coaching. But the best coach I've ever had, and this is no offense to any of my coaches, was my horse Tango. I must admit, he has taught me, on my 20 years of studying with him, he has taught me more than I could ever learn, I think, from anything, because I bothered to learn from him, and I learned so much. I saw him change from quite a nervous 11-year-old up to a 31-year-old who is such a lovely gentleman. So I feel I've seen all stages of horses and all types of their training, and all stages in their life as well, because they do change. And I just wanted to put that out there today. So what have I learned from Tango? What did I learn in my apprenticeship with him? And I wanted it not to be wasted, because I think it's something I should pass down the line as well. So I've written a few little pointers for today. So number one, patience is always the best option. I think there was never a day that I lost my patience with Tango, and he was the sort of horse you could not lose your patience with anyway. He would have, at the beginning, was a very nervous horse, and I said in the end, a lovely old gentleman, you wouldn't want to lose your patience with him. I've never lost my patience with any horse, but I know sometimes we are pushed to the line, and sometimes it's difficult to hold your line, but it really is something you have to educate yourself in, that patience is always the best option with horses. Number two, listen to your horse. Very often they are trying to tell you things. Now, if you were listening to my lives last year, I was in exactly the same predicament as now. Unfortunately, although she's not lame, my mare hasn't been moving as brilliantly as she did do before. And it's the same time of year. She's a little bit weightier. There's more grass out there. And I've had to listen to her. And unfortunately, yeah, I've had blood tests done now, and she has got EMS. But I am now on a mission to control her weight. There is something I can actually do. So listening out to your horse, understanding when they're trying to tell you something, is a really important thing. Understand their behavior. Why are they acting like that? Instead of just dismissing it, saying, oh, this horse is just being so difficult today. Why is it being difficult? What's changed? What could you do to change that behavior? So that's really important. Remembering that it's a partnership and not a domination. Again, domination is not going to solve your partnership in any aspect, is it? But particularly with horses. So it must be a partnership. You have to work together. You have to understand each other and know when is the day to just call it a quit and come back the next day. That's also important. With that, it's something I say quite a lot to a lot of my students, is it might not be perfect, but it's good enough for today. So we'll reward the effort. We reward the effort in going towards where you want that horse to be. And that's important. So we feel we're going somewhere, and we reward their attempt to try and understand us. Spend time together. I mean, Tango and I, at the end, in his older years, we used to go for long walks together, and it was my best time with him. I believe it really was. I mean, I competed him, I rode him in dressage, we did some wonderful fun things together, but my best times, actually, I remember, were my lovely long walks with him, where I could talk to him about my whole day and enjoy watching him pick things out the hedges at different times of year and what he liked to forage for himself. So I learned a lot about him then as well. Learn to appreciate each day. As we all know, time is precious, and sometimes that day won't be there anymore, and you think, if only I'd spent more time. So having time off the horse, not just in the saddle but off the saddle, to spend some more time grooming your horse. You spend a lot of time actually grooming, not just brushing off to go riding. They really enjoy it, and it's a good time to bond with them. appreciate he is just a horse, or she is just a horse. And I love an expression Eric Smiley said years ago that I was watching him on a lecture demo, and he said, "You're dealing with something that eats grass for a living." And I excuse my Irish accent, which was not very good there, but you're dealing with something that eats grass for a living. I mean, bless it, so really, let's, be kind. Number 8, yeah, he's just a horse who's trying to understand. I don't believe they try to be difficult. I think they try to understand, and sometimes they just get the wrong answer. And you think that with learning and with anything, if every time you did something wrong, I would sort of, be impatient about it, then I wouldn't be a very good coach. So I think we have to learn to be patient. And the last one is really that, sometimes the horse needs a different job. And that was the joy of why I was able to have Tango. He was an eventer. He didn't like jumping. He was frightened of jumping. So at the time, his lovely owners said, right, we need to find him a different home. He needs a quieter home. He needs a home where he wouldn't have to jump. And that was ideal. He came to me. So sometimes a horse needs a different job. And sometimes, and this is a tough one, but sometimes a horse needs a different rider. And I do believe that. Sometimes it's not the combination. And we have to be honest with that. There's sometimes where you think, no, this is not the horse for me. And I'm not frightened of saying that now. As I'm in my 60th year, I often use that. And I don't use it. I bring that out and I say, well, actually, I'm 60. Do I really want to be riding some sharp thoroughbred these days? Would I have started again with a Tango now? Probably not. So I'm aware of where my fitness levels are, where my speed, where my talents are, and sometimes I would say no to riding something too. So I hope that helped for today, and apologies for it being a video yet again, but if you want to leave me a message to let me know that you've seen the video, and if there was anything in there particularly that grabbed your attention, or if there's anything you want me to talk about next week, let me know underneath this post. Take care, have a lovely Thursday. Bye for now.